You're done. If undertakers did this, they should find other work.
I doubt there's a job on Earth that suits whatever did this. Decoys to distract wayward specters. Rudimentary. Someone's had a little training. Here did lie Alexander Watson.
Did Caleb take their bodies?
Someone did, and he's at the top of my list.
Well, they made quite the mess. Perhaps the decoys may show us the way.
Follow the path. Don't get too close.
I'll try.
This way. More of them. That's what I was talking about when I said don't get too close.
Die, you bastard!
Demonology. I should have known.
What in God's green hell is this?
Fight now, talk later. A vicious scourge that despises the living. In these lands, what a surprise indeed. Shrines now? With bones?
It's like Lady Blackwood's boudoir around here.
Part of the story is waiting to be revealed.
Oh, there, fella. You're nasty, aren't you?
Nasty, yes. But also shoddy. It's very poor work. Are you sure we didn't miss anything?
With a bit of luck, we'll find what we need. Is that?
Yes. Something's here.
What is this?
It looks like a butchered version of the ritual of Lesser Palingenesis.
The ritual of... that ritual? The one that brings someone back? That ritual?
Yes, that ritual.
In Shaw and Drast, the Toki Min Kurster.
As flesh unto verb, as verb unto heart, as heart unto flesh. Death's knot is unsevered, and I shall cut it.
Come to me, Ruth. Come to me, my love. Come back to me.
Caleb Watson invoked a ghost without a body for it to inhabit, so it took his. Caleb is no longer Caleb.
He got the wrong ghost too.
He used pieces of his wife and also of his brother.
Ruth, Alexander, Caleb, could be any combination of them in there.
Let's go find out which. They never learn, do they? Heads up!
Reinforcements! That ritual, I suspect it's beyond me.
It's not, but we agreed you won't need it. Besides, Caleb's work was poor. Your work is good.
A ritual like that. Good is not a word that comes to mind.
Hush now. All is well. Nothing bad will ever come to us again. Shite off.
We've been to God's Acre. Quite a tale it told us. You're not Caleb, are you? Or at least not entirely.
Ah, can't fog you. Alexander Watson. Long tale short, Caleb tried to bring his dead wife back. And I live here now.
So many questions. Where to even start?
He was trying to bring his wife back. How did you end up in the mix?
Caleb made a fine cobbler, a poor brother, a worse husband, and a truly terrible witch. The ritual went to shite, because... of course it did.
Do both of you share Caleb's body?
Share? No. This house of flesh is mine. But because I am a generous man, I allow my brother to live in the cellar. We were twins. I was the rotten half, they said. But who's the rotten half now? There's something else you should know. If you don't know it already. I'm not alone. I completed the ritual. My darling Ruth is in here too.
You used the ritual to bring Ruth's spirit into Caleb's body. Why?
Love moves a soul to strange endeavors. We deserve a better life. I set myself to claiming it.
I understand your anger, more so your desire. But what of Ruth's? Did you consider what she wanted?
Caleb stole a life from me, but he also stole Ruth's voice. She shrank beneath him. Of course she wanted a second chance at life.
I'd like to hear this from Ruth. May I please speak with her?
No! We've carved ourselves out a little happiness at last. I'll not have you break it. Please, leave us alone. Give us this.
We need to speak to her, one way or another. If he won't tell us anything, perhaps the house Ruth died in will.
Caleb was no saint, but this is hellish grim. Does he deserve it?
Aye, he does. And it's not like I killed him. He's alive in here somewhere. Watching me ruin his name. He can hear me now. Destroying his reputation. As I had to hear him destroy mine when he painted me a fornicator.
How nice.
He took our love, Ruth and mine, and killed it. Now our love's reborn, and he can do naught but sit and watch. Caleb was a cad. Shite on him. Let him suffer.
You died trying to save Ruth from a burning house. True.
True.
I'm sorry. It is an awful way to go, and so young too. You deserve better.
We deserved better, and now we have it. And with it, Caleb gets to make amends. For he did nothing. He stood and watched us burn. Caleb's name was ruined then. We're just putting the boot in.
You're well placed to see what goes on around here. Help me out. Have you seen anything noteworthy?
I've made a point of keeping people away, but I see things. And I take note.
Lammy Haskell. Any thoughts about him?
The Haskell boy? What about him? He's weird. Talked with Caleb about nonsense. Both of them were full of shite.
What's your take on the governor?
My brother gave him the Glad Hand Act, and the governor lapped it up. Haskell's opinion of himself is far too high. To win his favour, you need only prop him up. He dragged my name through the dirt. Shite on him, and his so-called eloquence. What use is a silver tongue when your heart is yellow?
Tell me about folk here. Who stands out for you? What think you of them?
What think I of they who shunned me, gulled by my black-mouthed brother? What think I of malicious fools for whom I had to die to be redeemed? I'd say a curse upon them. But 'tis too late. The curse has already come.
How goes the settlement, would you say?
It's going to hell in a shitting handcart. Not that I care, mind. But there's sport in guessing who shall live and who shall die. Hope they find that witch, though. Can't have witches about the place doing the devil's work.
I'll be leaving you alone for now.
Alone? Not really. Hush now. All is well. Nothing bad will ever come to us again.
Ruth and Alexander are having an affair in her husband's body.
I can't find an angle with that isn't just plain wrong.
Something feels wrong. Something about Ruth. If we find the ghost tie, we can talk to her.
The Lord knoweth the way to the right, and the way of the ungodly shall perish.
Ghost wards cannot manifest. The ghost wards feel far away from here. Just one keeps me from manifesting. Fancy knocking it down? Much better. Wasn't I always?
The house that burned down. The roof fell in with them inside.
There's a lot of debris.
I must be nearby. This work shows real sensitivity. Caleb?
Maybe. Not Alexander. I suspect we've just learnt a little about Ruth. Of course. Ruth's heart binds them like a bushel of rotting corn.
You! What do you have there? Stop right there, you rank ramp! Whatever you found, it ain't yours!
You buried Ruth's heart in the ashes of the house that killed her. I find that odd.
You, a ghost, went digging in the ashes of a dead woman's house. You're ill-positioned to call me odd. Don't think I haven't felt your presence before.
Stow your tongue while I speak with Ruth. Ruth, can you hear me? Can you speak?
Puck off and die! I'm in charge here. No. Hush ye, Alexander. I'll speak. I'm Ruth. I hear you.
I'm Antea Duarte. We're here to help.
Oh, I'm glad. Please, end this nightmare. Help me. Go to hell in a bag of shite. We're fine, and you have not the right, you hear? You've not the right. Her heart! Give it back!
I must summon you.
No more does he silence me. We may speak. Help me, please.
Who taught Caleb the resurrection ritual?
To say it was taught would mean he'd learned it. He read it off a page. As a sorcerer, Caleb makes a fine cobbler. Thing about Caleb, he was a good listener. As he worked, clients would bend his ear. The Haskell boy, for one. As Caleb pinned the governor's shoes, young Lammy would talk magic. Nonsense, really. But Caleb was listening.
Wait, Lammy Haskell gave Caleb the resurrection ritual?
After Lammy mentioned the ritual, Caleb became obsessed with it. He begged. Lammy, in his misplaced generosity, gave it. Caleb was intent on dark work. Lammy furnished written instructions.
Caleb's letter changed your life. How did it feel at the time?
It tore me in two. I loved Alexander, but I deserved to marry a man who would be true. Caleb seemed decent. I believed he loved me. I thought I'd married the better brother, but I'd married a liar. A liar and a devil. And yet, not even he deserves this. No one deserves this.
How did Caleb treat you?
With adoration. I was an idol. Worshipped, yet unloved. He was the sculptor and I was the statue. Smiling down, unmoving from my pedestal with nothing to say. Now I'm sewn into a festering sack with the quivering remnants of my husband and the angry ghost of his dead brother. Please, let me out.
Ruth, your husband Caleb's botched resurrection ritual brought you back, but allowed his brother Alexander to take you hostage.
Once we deal with the Watson brothers, you shall be free to ascend.
Do what you must. I'll suffer it if it leaves me free to go. No! We can stay. Please, Ruth, let us stay.
Look at you. You're counterfeit, a sham of a thing. Your so-called life is no life at all. Caleb lied and stole your love. But when the time was right, you lied and stole his body. We're ending this nonsense now.
Alexander, you were wronged, but Ruth owes you naught. Not her life, nor her death.
I'm not my brother. I am the man who runs into the burning house. Ruth owes us nothing. But my love is true, and his is not.
Your love is not measured by what you win. It's measured by what you're willing to let go.
I'm sorry, Ruth. You deserved better. Better than him. Better than me. Send me away, Banisher. Let the devil stoke the flames of hell for me, and we'll see if I burn.
Take your head out your arse, you're not that important. Right, hold still, both of you. Let me pry you all apart.
You have been hurt.
I mean, we've seen some horrors, but that...
This is the work.
You're right. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. That was something.
Don't take it to heart. Their choices are not your business.
Our choices are my business. And the consequences too.
Don't waver. We could win a battle, but we can't win the war. Nobody should conquer death, and we don't want to pay the price of trying.
Aye. I hear you.
Good. Now, let's see what Lammy Haskell has to say about raising spirits from the dead.
Governor.
May I help you, Mr. McCraith?
I have to admit, this is an unusual case.
Yes, but have you solved it?
I believe so. But the culprit was not responsible for the plague. At least not directly.
Have you found the witch or have you not?
Someone here has been dabbling in some dark magic. I have the name.
So, what are you waiting for?
Don't you want to hear the name?
I do not need to. The principle is what matters.
Not exactly. The name is Lamentation Haskell.
No, it can't be. My son is studious. Curious, too curious at times perhaps, but he does not have a bad bone in his heart.
He showed Caleb Watson a ritual. The cobbler used it and became possessed.
Even if true, it would only mean my son was exposed to corruption. It happened before. Bring me proof, Banisher. Find the real source of evil.
I'll get it. Mark me. I must find your son, Governor. Sooner rather than later.
His interests take him hither and thither. If he isn't here, he must be working on the outskirts. He's been sprucing up one of the abandoned houses there. I ordered them emptied when the sickness hit. Here, take the gate key. Go there. See for yourself. You're wrong about him. You're wrong about my son. Needless to say that I count, of course, on your discretion.
He was quick to condemn till it was his own son on the block. Who's he really protecting?
We'll bring him the proof he wants. If the boy is guilty, his father may not be able to protect him.
Hell's balls. What happened here?
Something's emanating from... I have another in sight. Move, Red!
One of these must be Lammy's hideaway.
Take care. The place is warded.
Lammy, you here?
This is locked from the inside.
He was studying botany. Why botany? Araloo. Mean anything to you?
Not a thing.
He mentioned an old mill. Seemed fascinated by the place. The incisions are clean. The precision of an expert.
There's magic here, though faint.
Nothing incriminating. Yet.
Remember what we found at Caleb Watson's? Maybe we're not looking in the right place. If I had something to hide, I might hide it in an abandoned mill.
Spectre heading for that corpse. Watch out! Spectre possession. I have another in sight.
Bastard. Why a mill?
Away from the village. Perfect for his research. Perfect to hide secrets.
He's not out here for pleasure, that's for sure. Picking up something spectral nearby.
Remember the wicked will I felt earlier? The same spell is upon this.
We should find that ritual Seeker told us about. I've kept her notes about the hut location. Peaceful. Like home on a good day. Oh, it's hilly, mate. He felt like playing with the lambs. Blair preferred to feed them. I think was too busy dreaming.
And you?
I cooked them for dinner. The lambs, I mean.
Did we miss a few?
Die, you bastard!
So much for peaceful.
Warp.
That spectre's seen a corpse and it wants it for its own.
Piss off!
What should we expect up there?
A gateway to the mythical Aralu, whatever that is. Otherwise, terrible tragedy, dark doings, sick secrets, and a wild guess.
Piss off! Down, boy!
Looks derelict. Is he really inside?
I am warded. I cannot.
If we want to stop for a wee minute, this place will do.
The ward's power is gone. go then.
Oh, there.
Guess we're not going that way.
There should be a way up here. What hides here in the dark? Come out, come out.
Looks like Lamy was trying to translate some sort of ritual.
Not any ritual. This is the lesser palingenesis.
I guess no one warned Lammy that grimy reincarnation rituals were not without risk. This relay lad seems dangerous.
His apprentice seems to be following him down the same path.
So, what are you hiding in here, evil spawn?
Glancing at the original writing, Lammy's work was poor. No wonder the ritual he spawned for Caleb from those botched words of power went wrong.
He doesn't speak well of his dad.
Did he seek power? Was he hoping to step out of his father's shadow?
If he did, he went the wrong way about it. We need to get to the top floor. Bet we'll find something.
More ghost wards. Someone was being extra careful. Over here. Look.
No crank. Great. It's just a lift. Why is this mechanism so complex?
More magic muckery. What exactly was he up to? His final notes sound optimistic. Did he succeed?
That book. Again.
The Agrippa. That's not good. Not good at all.
What level of not good are we talking about exactly?
This book promises eternal life, but the promise is a trap. Let's hope it hasn't been used.
The crank. Good. The lift should work now. All this is more serious than we thought. I'm apprehensive. Not just because we're going underground.
We'll be careful. We don't know what Lammy was up to, and the signs are not encouraging.
You know, I could get to like it underground. The darkness, the gloom, the cool air.
Really?
No, not really. Not at all.
Careful, it's just getting stronger.
The pillars, Red. I see no more pillars. Careful!
That was filthy. When all this is over, I might retire.
You'd miss it. You know you would. Red, come see this. Dead animals, again. Different symbols and magic. Seems they were used as bait. Is this how we got through the Sorrow's vigilance? I love doing that.
So, here we are.
I suppose now we step into the void.
Suppose we do. Dark rituals, void breach, general weirdness. Lemmy can't be far.
Ghost wards. I cannot manifest.
It's awfully calm. Why is it awfully calm?
Spectres. They haven't noticed us. Stay low.
Die, you bastard!
Creepy hideout. The governor's spawn likes a bit of drama.
This one's different. Looks like it died diseased. This is some dark, sideways magic.
It's forbidden. I've read it.
Sometimes I worry about you. Ugh. What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void. So, you can see me. Aren't you full of surprises, young Master Haskell?
You may talk. A Banisher ghost. Amazing. How on God's earth did you find me? Never mind that. Thank the Lord you did. Thought I was going to grow old in here.
As hiding places go, the void is quite the choice.
Yes, an amazing place. Or plane? World? The Araloo is not easily described, but it makes a fascinating study. Tell me, how did you get past the Guardian beneath the mill? Did you use a decoy?
We fought it. Don't change the subject.
You fought it? Of course you did. A good thing too. I was starting to think it was wise to me tricks. Oh, but I have so many questions.
This isn't a social call, kid. And we're the ones with the questions.
Oh. Oh. Of course.
From the looks of this place, you're knee-deep in research. What are you doing here exactly?
Searching for the origin of the Harrow's Plague, of course. And I have a theory on the subject.
Of course you do. Go on then.
Now at first I believed the water poisoned, but my father sealed the well, and yet folk remained sick. They looked for witchcraft, a foolish, uneducated suspicion, yes, but with some truth concealed behind it. You see, the Araloo taints New Eden. Its influence leaches into the Harrows. The evidence is everywhere.
Can you prove that? Where's your evidence?
In New Eden, the threshold between our plane and this is thin. Even I, a novice, may reach the frontier and then go beyond. I also believe it happened before. Some years ago, New Eden was hit by another epidemic.
Was it the same illness?
I believe that first epidemic was caused by the porosity of the frontier between New Eden and the Araloo. Although, where theirs was an affliction of burning flesh, ours is a corruption of mind and spirit. And I believe I have found its source. There is a substance, a strange ooze. You may have noticed it. This, I believe, is the true source of the Harrow's poison. It carries a particular stink, on the scent of which I experience first confusion, then a loss of control over my limbs.
What do you expect to find at the source of the ooze?
To find a cure. The ooze seeps into our world, sickening us. I may be able to stop it. Unfortunately, I cannot reach the source. The Araloo is a formidable place. Tricky. A maze constantly evolving, changing, reshaping itself. The isthmus, for example. I found an oozing crack in the ground. The terrain then remade itself, and I can get to it no longer.
Perhaps we might be able to find a way through and take a look at that source.
Would you? That would be splendid. Would you mind taking notes?
You see ghosts. You stroll the void as if it were your garden. You possess and share forbidden rituals. Who are you really?
I'm Lammy Haskell, and I am a man of many sciences. I am in fact a true pursuer.
That raises more questions than it answers.
What are the pillars of the universe? Which principles underpin existence? As occultists, do we change the world or scratch upon its surface? Each discipline I embrace peels back a new layer of reality. I'm yet at the beginning and see where I already stand. Amazing, no?
Are you a demonologist like your father?
More or less. Less, more so. My father sees occultism through the eyeglass of his faith, but I know better. So, more so?
If you don't share your father's faith, what do you believe?
I believe in the afterlife. The proof is about us. And if the void embodies eternal despair, there must too be a place of hope. But where, I ask myself, where?
Your father is convinced a witch poisoned his well. Caleb Watson was cursed by a ritual you gave him. I'd focus if I were you.
We must counter the devil with knowledge of his tricks. That, my father always said, is the purest of God's work.
Aye. I can imagine your father saying that.
When I was 10, he gave me my initiation. Demonology, sir, as he would say. He saw me as his heir. Then, of a sudden, the books were forbidden. So I stole them, the very same books he'd forced upon me as a boy. I understand them where he does not. I did no wrong, apart from a little theft.
We must talk of Caleb Watson. Why in the hell would you give him a resurrection ritual?
Ruth's death hit poor Caleb hard. He was alone, and so I would often stop by his workshop. We talked. He took a keen interest in my studies and was a good listener. When he learned that she could possibly return, he had one question. How?
Men bonding over bereavement and black magic. A pretty tale indeed.
I should have proceeded with more caution.
You shouldn't have proceeded at all. We have a witch hunt on our hands. You could face trial for this botched ritual.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I found it in a copy of De Occulti Philosophia by Cornelius Agrippa von Nettesheim. A remarkable book.
I've met my fair share of illustrious occultists, and none owned an authentic Agrippa. Much is lost in translation or altered in the printing. I doubt your copy is an exception.
Of course! The power is in the words, and mine were wrong, so the power went awry. How very fascinating.
You mistake foolishness for audacity. You must mend your ways.
Surely the acquisition of knowledge cannot be a sin.
Do you remember Deborah?
Miss Comenius. Yes, of course, I remember.
Your father tasked us with an investigation. One way or the other, we must return with the mystery solved.
Ah. I think I understand what you're saying. I might be in a tiny little bit of, danger.
You've studied demonology. Did you do it alone?
When my father forbade me to continue, I confess I disobeyed him in secret. Those big books were very boring until they were forbidden. Suddenly I could not get enough of their secret knowledge. Funny, eh? More recently, a good friend of my father showed me that I had only been scratching at the surface.
Who was your father's friend?
An itinerant Frenchman who often visited New Eden in recent years. He called himself a true pursuer. As a thinker, he was prolific and profound. My father was so proud to be included in his discourse. For him, knowledge is the ladder to greatness, and greatness is the prize. To me, knowledge is itself the prize.
Let's go take a closer look at that ooze then.
And with that sorrow gone, I can leave. Do be careful. My home is your home. If you need anything, help yourself.
The Aralu is not your home, Lammy. But thank you.
Pardon my morbid enthusiasm, Mistress Duarte, but could I ask you a few questions?
What do you wish to know?
Do you still need to eat? Do you feel hungry?
And we should get going. So, the pious governor's unassuming son is our evil Harrow's witch.
I was as earnest as he. Ah, the rank enthusiasm of youth. It's sickening, really.
Oh, God. Yuck. I need a wee bit of help here. Well, that was not pleasant. Well, not pleasant at all.
I can't help you. The walls worked well enough. You didn't need to kill so many birds. Demonologists use necromancy. Maybe he thought he'd bring them back when he was done.
Great! More fun. It oozes through the breach, suppurates like a festering wound.
How delightful.
Let's see what lies on the other side. Where are we now?
Underground, looks like.
Wonderful.
The ooze affects the incarnate, too. Who goes there?
Is that a ghost?
I don't know. But I don't think we're alone. What might you be, then?
Proof condemned.
What was...
Innocence crushed.
Oh, shite.
Did you just say shite? You? bigger than I thought it'd be.
Is that a house from the Harrows?
We may be below the well.
No wonder they all got sick.
The cries of the innocent have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty.
Something's concealed.
Look up. The ooze, oozed through the...
And of all of them, just this one house fell down.
Maybe it was personal.
Could this house have been targeted by the ooze?
Obviously. Look around you.
Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs, have you read my paper?
I read it, aye. And then I washed my hands and prayed for grace. You claim to prove that there is no curse. Well...
A witch would say that, wouldn't she?
Wherever people gather to live, disease takes hold, and I believe... What are you doing?
Your evil lies shall be destroyed. We know who you are, and you shall be judged. Witch!
They were determined to do for her. She built a case for her rationality, and they tore it apart.
This house belonged to a certain Antipas and Clemency Gibbs.
Mrs. Gibbs, I presume.
Another shadow.
What do they want? Red, something is keeping me from manifesting.
In here? Ah, shite.
The greedy strive with purpose to bring
Better.
You're welcome.
Now let's inspect the body.
can't cook.
Did we miss a few? Someone didn't want to stay dead.
Clemency Gibbs blamed the epidemic on a witch. Come from New Eden town with the governor.
That's not what the woman they accused was saying.
The Gibbs were not at home to rational explanations.
The greedy shall fall, and their certitudes be swept when the final judgment comes.
Not quite the right alignment. This could be a good spot to cross. Can't use this one.
See anything?
Either the water table is full of ooze, or there's another source.
Let's search upstream.
Have a bit of this.
Over there.
Elusive little buggers.
This is how they kill their fear. This is how I die.
Destroy those ghost wards, if you want me back.
And you will not be judged.
Those echoes we're hearing are the shadows speaking.
They always appear near the ooze.
So do the whispers.
But which came first? Red, come look.
As their stones crush me.
I don't think so. The whispers say the same things over and over.
What kind of entity would be so obsessed?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
To deliver you from the enemy of evil, your captives are unleashed upon you.
Watch out! Spectre.
Reinforcements!
Watch out! Spectre possession.
Yet in your cowardice and in your pride, you thought yourself fit to lay the blame. Guilty.
This looks perfectly drinkable.
Famous last words.
Why hasn't the poison spread to the groundwater?
Perhaps it shifts and shapes, like the void. Well, at the very least, it shifts. Looks like the ooze comes from a distinct source.
Innocent. The guilty. Innocent.
This whole country is rotten to the core.
And you're just now reaching this conclusion?
If I wanted your opinion, I'd give it to you.
Perhaps if you gave me the space to have one, then we'd both be better off. Someone came through here, someone real, not just a shadow. Whoever it was, looks like the ooze got him. What do you think, Antea?
You wanted the space to have your own opinion. I'm giving it to you.
This must be Antipas Gibbs. Hell of a fall to live through. Now join in any time, Antea.
What do you think I'm doing?
This is God's land. How could we let a witch come to our community? Instructing our children, no less.
'Tis no surprise. New Eden brims over with backsliders. The governor, chief amongst them.
Aye, many had to sicken and die for him to act. But the deed is not yet done.
We must fight the Lord's good fight and cast the devil out for good. Many want to try the witch, aye, and many want to see her dead.
Think you could take on a ghost?
Reinforcements!
Those things came from the ooze. They're like those oriental shapeshifters we fought in Bremen.
Obake liquefy. This is something else. The ooze reacted to our presence.
Condemned stone by stone, all proof missing.
The Gibbs were so angry. Pure entitled bigotry.
Maybe they were affected by the ooze. I mean, we've been snapping at each other since we got here. Something's toying with us. This is it. This is the source. How do we get to it?
You have turned your back from love, looked away when most needed. Guilty.
Oh, shelter with a damp and itchy straw bed. Just how I like it.
Something tells me this is the condemned well. Do you think you could get that bucket down?
Whatever you have sown, you shall reap. Alone, forlorn, misunderstood, so you shall remain.
An echo from the past drifts by. I sense the vivid echo of a ghost's memory.
The devil still breathes through her mouth. We are cursed, and you are stolen.
Clemency, Antipas, please. The woman has been jailed. As per custom, she will face trial and justice will be brought to this community.
Coming from a magic user himself. But can you or your demonologist discernment really be trusted?
How dare you insinuate such blasphemy? I'm a man of faith.
Then do what God commands of you. Governor, we ask for safety. If we do not get it, there will be consequences.
The governor used Urim and Thummim, and that made his flock suspicious.
Divination stones. He must have thrown them down the well when he sealed it. Why now?
Hiding the evidence perhaps of his role in the witch trial. They connected him to the demonology he used to reinforce his authority.
That echo proves that things were getting out of hand. For his son's safety and his own, Haskell must have feared the suspicious mob. This can't be good.
Who are you?
Confess! Let them speak.
If we speak, so you listen?
Impudence! Provocation! Read the charges!
Let Urim McCrae. You have blood on your hands and weakness in your heart. Guilty!
Sworn to vanquish evil. You conspired with witches.
Sworn to banish all ghosts. Instead, you embrace one.
The charges. Cowardice, oath-breaking, deception. The verdict. Guilty. The sentence. Pain hereafter.
I am no witch hunter. Never was.
Bloody hell. Is that me? What the hell just came out of that shadow?
It's working. Keep at it.
Shadow's got its strength back.
Don't let the ooze get back to its shadow.
Devil take you.
I never wanted this. I hate the very thing I've become.
Poisoning the body politic. You portray yourselves as saviors sent to deliver us. But with your dark hearts, the evil only worsens. Your witches. Those witches must die.
Antea died to help New Eden, and still we fight this curse.
What more do you want from us? Her name is Deb.
We have passed judgment. The guilty are known. Now justice is ours.
Enough. Can we please get out of here? That was awful. This trial. It was as if Deborah wanted us to face what she had faced. But all I feel is beaten.
I feel judged. Like I'll never be understood again. Justice miscarried here.
Of course. That's it. I know what that was. Such spectre of injustice has a name. The mythical infamy. I've only read about them. They're so rare, most think them a myth.
Haskell's cowardice is to blame. To save his own arse, he condemned a woman he knew to be innocent.
And so a terrible ghost was born, and sickness piled on sickness. Haskell has so much to answer for. There is a path once I clear the way.
Is it just me, or?
I felt it too.
That down there, I was tense. I was impatient.
Me too. That infamy really got to us.
Years of anger coursed through me. Yet now I can't even remember why.
Me neither. This is what an infamy does. It's over now. We're here.
I said something to hurt you. I'm sorry.
I forgive you. And I hope that you forgive me too.
It is to the soul to be at once. One thing above all else, my friends, is true. The wicked are at odds with themselves.
Oh, good. His latest sermon. We haven't missed it.
The Lord's promise of salvation from hell pleases them. The Lord's salvation from misery and sin here on earth does not.
This doesn't look like salvation from misery and sin.
The wicked pray for deliverance from the fires of hell, while piling the kindling high. They proclaim their love for their Lord, yet, in His name, they serve themselves. Their self-regard crumbles in the light of their hateful iniquities.
So true.
Mr. McCraith, my friend, I'm so glad you agree. Now, the wicked man never questions...
I have your answers.
What? Yes, good. Perhaps we should discuss this privately, if you'll give me just a moment.
It's quite the story. You might not wish to hear it. Neither may the good people here.
Please, this is not the time.
We want to hear the story. Let the Banishers speak.
Tell them, Red. Tell them good.
Aye. It is a story that starts with a question. A question for you, Governor. And maybe for all the good people of New Eden. If I give you a witch, will you do what you did to Deborah Comenius?
Comenius, say you? The school teacher walked with the devil and paid the appropriate price. That's the beginning of the history and also its end.
Is it, though? I've learned much about Deborah Comenius and what happened to her, and it tells a very different tale.
And what story, pray you, does it tell?
It tells the story of a man, a latter-day King Solomon. When plague struck his subjects, they turned to him for guidance and protection, for they were God-fearing folk, and he was a godly king. The king turned his flock to God, but 'twas not enough. The plague spread on. The king, worried about his position, needed a sacrificial lamb.
You lose the run of your tongue, Mr. McCraith, and of the head to which it's fixed. There was no lamb. There was a trial, fair and lawful.
The picture of yourself that you hold in your mind is that of a great occultist.
To repel the devil, the wise and fearless man must learn the Black Spy's tricks.
Do you then consider yourself a true demonologist?
In order that a war be just, 3 things are necessary. Firstly, the authority of the sovereign. Secondly, a just cause. Thirdly, a rightful intention.
Aye, the Summa Theologiae of St. Thomas Aquinas, a classic quote from which you have conveniently omitted an important detail. To wit, a just cause is required, namely that those who are attacked should be attacked because they deserve it on account of some fault. Have you ever wondered what lies beyond the veil, past the hem, beyond the invisible? Have you ever heard of the Araloo?
What gibberish is this?
No? Your good friend Etienne Roulet did not, it seems, deign you worthy of his secrets. Never mind. The trial was not fair. You had no proof, and you knew it.
Credible witnesses gave believable testimony, sir.
Witnesses like Gibbs, who pressured you into a guilty verdict to avoid being suspected of witchcraft yourself.
There was pressure, I'll not deny it. But I did what I did to protect the colony. It was a difficult time.